signing my life away.
You know, hey, you've done that already before.
I mean, at least I haven't had
And I
my
want to
soul
say,
on eBay.
yeah, right. Hey, it got pulled down. He couldn't do it. Anyways, welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Diorio, your host, as always. Tonight we got a dual guest treat as the creators of the forthcoming comic Deathshroud is joining us. Of course, we all know VK and Marion with his nice wannabe cloud hair going on there.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Bit by bit.
But he pulls it off well, though.
Pulling
it off, though. Yeah, agreed.
Right. He always does. And then we're also joined by his counterpart at Dream Key Comics, Chad Larsson.
Only Chad Larsson.
Yeah.
Boom.
And then, as always,
One of a
I am joined by the beanied one, Gerard Barrera.
Hey, what's going on, all my nerds? Thank you all for joining. Thank you for coming in and listening. And guys, welcome to Crashing Game Night.
Okay, really quick. I just because I see a piece of your shirt right now, I need to know what it says because I feel like it has something to do with whiskey.
Oh yeah.
I called it Whiskey Row.
Whiskey
Okay.
Row. All right. And that, ladies and gentlemen, as our babyface one that can't get a drink because he's too baby-faced is Theo Walski.
I mean, I still get ID'd. It counts.
Hey, that's a good thing, man.
Yeah, man. It's
No,
humble.
it's not.
Right.
It's a compliment, really.
No, it's not. Because and then I get the whole like, oh, you have a birthday with the one in it for the year. Got it.
Yeah. And then lastly, the maitre d' services, the man with the couch, the lion's mane, Jason Belidio.
Wow.
How's it going, guys? How's it going tonight? Chad,
So
BK,
ferocious.
thank you guys for coming on with us tonight.
Of course.
Sit down and enjoy the couch. Welcome to the couch, Chad.
Yeah, I'm excited, guys. Lots of cool things to talk about for sure.
I'm jealous of
seeing
Chad's
cool
wall
things.
right now,
Yeah,
though.
I was about to say that too. I'm already jealous.
I'm jealous of his wall.
Fucking good.
That artwork just looks so amazing, just in the background.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I'm a big original art collector, and I got as you may see Spawn. I have Spawn 300 and Spawn 301 and a bunch of great
Wow.
Sick.
covers.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm pretty proud of it. Let's just say that.
Nice.
I would be too. Dang. Bro,
Nice.
you and I would do great at like artist alley at like Comic-Con or
Oh,
something.
Comic-Con, bro.
We'd just be geeking out.
The grass is always greener. And it's definitely a problem because it's like, you know what? I think I've spent enough this year. I'm not going to get. And all of a sudden, a new Venom cover comes out or Batman. Or something. Like, oh, just one more.
Talking
just
our
one
language,
more.
bro. Oh yeah.
Just one more.
Oh, it's gonna be a good show. So Viken, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I just got married at the end of December.
Yeah,
so
I know.
That's right, dude.
Oh,
We saw your post on
congratulations.
Instagram. Congrats, bro.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
nice,
you. Yeah,
dude.
it's
Off
been
the
a
market.
it's been a good month.
Welcome
almost
to
a
the club,
month.
VK. Welcome to the club, bro.
yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, man. Happy to be
Naked.
here.
Naked.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. This is what I say.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
I'm actually not wearing mine because when I got it from the ring shop, I got it and it like I barely was able to get it over my knuckle, and they're like, "No, it's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be that way."
No,
And then
it's
after
not.
the wedding,
Nah.
after the wedding, I was like, it was getting tight and my hand was swelling, and like we finally were able to get it off. Like we need to get this resized. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm bummed too because
Yeah.
I want to wear it like all the time, but
Because the thing is, it's supposed to be a little big, right? You're supposed to grow
Mhm.
into your wedding
No,
ring, right?
I mean
no?
you're supposed to
It's supposed to be like,
comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A comfort.
Okay.
fit.
Yeah, so I mean, you can slip it over your knuckle and stuff. It's not supposed to be where it's like you're forcing it over your knuckle.
yeah, it's like slim fit pants, it's a little tight, but it works. It does.
Sorry, I've never been the size to wear slim fit pants, Jason.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
same
jealous
here.
of you,
Same-
but
sorry.
I'm also not jealous of you because I never want to see you in slim fit pants.
I'm honestly probably here in the next, probably by E3, I may have to actually get a new wedding band for me. So,
Oh yeah.
dude, it's
Slimming
this
down
thing
those
when I go to
fingers.
like what, dude, when I go to wash my hands, this thing falls off.
Yeah.
Like it
Oh,
just
wow.
slips right on off, dude. Well, you got to figure I'm down since April of last year. I am now down 22 pounds.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, nice, bro.
Congrats,
Yeah,
dude.
That's a
Congrats.
grind.
There you
This
go.
morning when I weighed in, I was at 203.
That's an
It was just-
entire Spice Girl.
It's getting there.
Good job, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Like Well, dude, I'm gonna have to get a new wardrobe too, because like the jeans are now the where it's like
Oh,
Jeans
dude.
don't lie.
I'm almost
Dude,
Oh,
Baggy's
dude,
coming
no,
back,
no.
man. Baggy's coming back.
Yeah,
So
or I was
maybe
gonna say, bro, dude, jorts are coming back. Just cut them bitches, dude. Jorts,
dude, I'm not hold on.
Jorts,
I ain't
get
just
outta
because
here.
it
Just
was
say George
just
are coming
because it
back?
was
Yeah, bro.
no.
Get
Hold
outta
on,
say that
Jerry,
again.
Just kidding.
Jerry. Just because it was Raw's 30th anniversary last night,
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
you know, I'm not John Cena.
Yeah, and I'm glad, you know,
That's
that,
the only that's the only reason jorts are back is John Cena. Really.
but I'm glad that we are a gaming podcast and not a fashion podcast, because that would have been it. You know? Been like,
Oh, none of us
time
would
to-
pass
time to shut it
fashion
down,
at
Time to
all.
shut it down.
Oh damn. No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But no. Anyway, so let's catch some people up. You know, we've got some you know, Beacon reached out to me because he's got a new book coming.
Woo.
And
yeah.
and so you know, he reached out to me, we're talking about it. You know, it's something I've been retweeting out here and there. If people that follow my Twitter account, I'll retweet out his stuff. So he reached out and said, hey, why don't we have chat on too? So let's catch up some people and get introduced to Chad. So Chad, what is your background? We know VKen comes from, you know, comics and DC and whatnot.
Oh, you're muted, sir.
We lost you.
You
I
were
think
on
you're
mute.
muted.
He's on mute.
Oh no!
Oh, there we
There
go.
we
Oh shoot! Okay, sorry. That's
all good.
horrible. I'm a noob.
It's all right.
So my background is in the video game esports space. So I've kind of been an
Yes.
entrepreneur in that space for about a decade. I founded two companies. One was called Pro Gaming League, which is like an esports online tournament and event company, and we actually launched that
interesting.
on the back of Ninja. So at the time, Ninja was a pro Halo player, and that was kind of my space as well. Because I used to get paid to play Halo for a company called Virgin Gaming. Is a whole other story. Virgin by Richard Branson, not Virgin as in, anyways.
Yeah. I didn't know Virgin had a gaming side.
Yeah,
I only knew about their mobile for a while, but
I knew about mobile and like their airline.
A long time
Canada.
ago, but
So
yeah.
it was the largest tech startup in Canada at the time. They raised like 50 million. They had a really strong partnership with EA and built really kind of a business model around FIFA and kind of head-to-head cash matches, and then they would take like a rev share off of that. And then that company was ultimately later sold. But yeah, so I was involved in that company, left, started Pro Gaming League. We ended up taking it public on the Toronto Stock Exchange Venture, and we built an esports arena in downtown Las Vegas. We were actually involved as a Halo fan, and I used to get paid to play Halo. This was like a dream of mine. We were responsible for facilitating parts of the Halo Championship Series. So we did a bunch of the online qualifiers, and then the second largest event leading up to ESL's like final $1 million event. Then I left that company and I started another company, which is an esports team called Team Reciprocity, where we fielded a bunch of top championship teams. We had like 7 or 9 different teams. We had Call of Duty. We had a co-partnership in a League of Legends in Latam. We had a franchise in Crossfire with LGD, which is like one of the biggest esport teams in East Asia.
Dang.
Dude,
I'm
looking at
That's
PGL's
insane.
website right now, and the events are no joke.
So
this thing
is so that's an old, so the company that I had the North American, that's that's a European company. My company is still around, but it's not called Pro Gaming League anymore. Now it's called Game Square. So you can actually or Engine Media. It's still publicly traded under the ticker Game, but it's kind of merged into what I would call like a conglomerate, and they own a bunch of different gaming entities. They own like a small mobile game publisher, some analytics company, and they owned a bunch of different things like that. And then so anyway, so that led to like, why did I do comics is because I was kind of tired of being beholden to these game publishers, right? Because it was always like, as a tournament operator, you're working as a third party and you're sitting across the table, always negotiating for your margins. And as a team, it's frustrating because like you have these influencers, but you don't have tangible assets really. And again, you're really piggybacking off of the publisher. So I'm like, okay, IP is king. How do I go about like creating some cool IP? And I'm like, well, you know, I don't have $500 million to make a AAA game, and I'm not in a position to do that. So what's the next best kind of path forward to do that. And I was like, okay, well, comics seems to be kind of a cost-effective way in which we can kind of create a portfolio of IP, and take it from there with hopefully, dreams of adapting it to film and animation and other forms of media. So then it kind of started as that basement dream, and I was like, okay, as you can see by the art, I love kind of the 90s Greg Capullo, Todd McFarlane era. I was a big fan of Ryan Stegman's take on Venom. And I was like, okay, so if I'm going to do this, I'm a nobody as a writer. People are going to be like, why should I pay attention to you? So I was like, okay, well, let's surround myself with kind of veterans and AAA talent. And then, from there, maybe people will be like, hey, what's this all about? So that's why I was very fortunate to find a talent like VCAN, who, is a 10-year industry veteran from DC, has done killer stuff on Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and also like his style, like not only is he super detail, high quality rendering, but his dynamic energy that he brings to his panels is in my opinion puts him on like the short list of one of the best artists in the industry. Because again, a lot of artists can be great, but there's a lot of medium shots. Again, Ken is always, being innovative of how he's presenting the artwork on the page. And I really give him the flexibility, given that this is an indie comic, of like, hey, let's take like we have some extra bandwidth here. Like, let's go nuts on this page, like do really kind of exploding panels and really bring a lot to the table that way. So that's one of the awesome things that's been with working with Ken, and the fact that he's also a video game player. So a lot of the reference that I'm constantly throwing at him, he's like, okay, yeah, I know that game, or like he's like, oh, I know that cinematic or whatever, so it's been a fun ride for sure.
That's amazing. That's so insane that you ended up starting in video games. I mean, talk about ironic. I mean,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Except for
that's awesome.
Except for it hasn't been a great week or so for the gaming industry between gaming media and gaming studios. We'll talk about that a little bit later with the mass layoffs and stuff. So what was the inspiration with calling it Dream Key Comics?
So, really, I just wanted to evoke something a little bit whimsical, something a little bit chase your dreams, as cliche as that may seem. But it really was from the perspective of, this is an underdog story. We're going up against legacy giants. And we really want to create stories that are going to capture people's imagination and make you feel like a kid again. And that's all of that thought process went into the branding of the name.
So I gotta ask you, so I've seen the artwork, which is incredible.
Thank you.
I mean, I tell you all the time, if it wasn't so expensive, I'd have one of your pieces, and I would have it honestly next to the signed page I have from the showrunners, Eric and Julia Leewald from X-Men. Like, I would have a piece up on the wall. I'd have you do Gambit for me, but man, I can't drop $500 right now. But it's worth it.
No, it's not a cheap hobby.
No. So what is Deathshroud about, though? I mean, from the bare bones,
sure,
high level.
Yeah. So out of the gate, we designed it for fans of Spawn, from the comic book side, Spawn, Venom, The Darkness, and then from the video game side, I'm a huge fan of the Diablo video game franchise and the Darkness video game franchise, and then Destiny. And I think I took a lot of inspiration on my approach actually from Destiny, and the reason for that is not necessarily the lore of Destiny, but the creative approach of Destiny. My thing of Destiny is like, they took the best pieces of sci-fi for the last like 30 years and merged it all into this really great IP that I think is something really special. So the story, the synopsis, I'll give you the elevator pitch. During a special ops mission, it goes sideways, and Second Lieutenant John Asriel should have died, but instead he's transformed into this hellish, nightmarish creature. And he soon discovers that he's actually one of the forbidden children of the angels, and that his father is actually death itself. and his
Oh,
very
sick.
existence is forbidden by the Archangel
Yeah.
Council.
What?
And then to get it more spicy, he actually gets caught up in a conspiracy between heaven and hell, who wants to wipe out and reset mankind, and he has to prevent that from happening.
Pretty much right where I'm at with Supernatural.
Sick.
Bro, that's a hook right there.
Dude,
Dang.
that's
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you. So
Yeah.
and if you look at the art and if you look at the characters, you know, a lot of people, you know, in the comic book space will say, hey, it's Spawn, but I actually, you know, my biggest inspirations come from IP like Diablo and Destiny and Darksiders and things like that. But I guess from a comic book side, you know, Spawn being kind of an anti-hero cape and deals with heaven and hell is another, you know, pretty good comparable. But one of the biggest difference is from, and I'm a huge fan of Spawn, like I'm not gonna lie, love Spawn, definitely a bit of a homage to Spawn, but really it's its own unique thing here. But one of the greatest things that I wanted to do with this is like keep momentum. So when you read,
So people can see it while we're talking about it.
Okay, yeah.
if it starts sharing.
No.
Yeah.
Is there's just so what I was gonna say is there's just so much energy, and one of my critiques with reading Spawn, or just sometimes any comic books, is I feel like screenwriters are approaching it as kind of a stepping stone to kind of get into film. There's a lot of kind of sometimes slow and a lot of medium shots. So this is like, listen, this is a really great, cool story, a lot going on, but you know, everyone wants, in my opinion, it's like everyone wants to see like their favorite hero beat up bad guys and see them do cool shit. So although there's great story, I pace it really well. So there's always like, you know, a roller coaster of two major high action beats and massive like double splashes and splash pages to be like, wow. And leave those memorable marks as you're flipping through the book. And then someone like Ken just is able to take that and go nuts. And Ken can probably you know, tell you of like, you know, the painstaking, some of the double splashes that he's had to do, and the crazy detail that he's packed in. But I think ultimately it will be worth it, because you know, the fans will be like, wow, like this is, as a grassroots project, like this really feels like a Marvel AAA event book.
Yeah, that was like our goal with it, was to make it feel like the most special comic book that like you're buying, you know, to make it feel like as high quality as we possibly could. And yeah, and it's like Chad said, like it's balls to the wall action, like the whole like there's a very good story, and it's threaded with like just insane action. And each issue we did, there's a lot of story progression, like things happen from issue to issue, which, you know, is not always the case with comics. Like usually you need to have like there's usually like a 6-issue story arc to like have like one sort of major thing happen. But with this, we wanted to make forward momentum with each 24-page issue, and to have really great action. And like it just, and each time I felt like when I handed an issue in, I was like, I think we topped ourselves with this one. Like I think this one might be better than the last one. And like we just kept pushing ourselves to go crazier and crazier as we went on. And I do want to shout out Andrew Dahlhaus, who's the colorist on the book. So I'm drawing, I'm doing all the line art, so the penciling and inking, and Andrew's doing all the coloring. And our team together, we've been kind of rocking and rolling for a few years now together, like exclusively as like an art team. And we're kind of making something that I think is really unique. Like it has echoes of, like Chad said, like the 90s comics, like the Todd McFarlane, the Mark Silvestri, the Jim Lee, Michael Turner, all that stuff I love growing up. But we also, both of us, me and Andrew, also both really love like anime. So that like, especially like 90s era anime and early 2000s anime. So like that kind of influence and convergence of our styles is like really kind of like making some of the best work I think I've ever done. So it really is like a super high action. It's dark, it's gritty, but it's also fun and colorful. You know, it's like, it's kind of the best of both worlds to me. Like when I think of, we were talking earlier before about like Castlevania, like it has sort of that feel of like the PS1 Castlevania, where it's like, it's dark and it's gritty and it's edgy and bloody and violent, but it's also bright and colorful and fun and action packed, you know. And it's like,
because well, based on the description from you, Chad, I was immediately, not only could I really picture it and see it even in a video form, like a series, but I was immediately kind of picturing Darksiders. And I was, I love the idea of it. I also had a question about, given that this is your first run and you're you're going to establish your characters, correct? But given how interesting the story is, it really feels like there's a lot of lore behind it. Are you going to kind of play with some of that in the future, or
Totally.
or maybe like go into the explanation on how people get chosen or something like that?
Yeah, totally. So, knock on wood, if everything were to, come,
Gotcha. I gotcha.
come full, I'm not muted, right?
No,
you're good.
Okay,
You're
okay,
good.
sorry.
Knocking on wood for you. Knocking on wood for you.
Hey, blame your tracer for not
Right.
getting you prepped for this.
No, totally my bad. So yeah, the goal would be to have it be expansive and have multiple different characters in their own kind of mini series. For instance, if you go to our website right now, we actually I co-created a character with Ken called Shadow Slayer, and
There we go. Ooh.
there you go. So he's so this design, I was like, Ken, I love Ninja Gaiden, one of my favorite original Xbox games.
Oh God, that's triggering me.
And I'm like, I want to fill that void. And so fans of like Ninja Gaiden will really appreciate the design. And we had this really cool idea for this weapon that is as you see in the image there, it's like a giant
V, bro.
yeah, he killed it. And
Bro,
it was such a fun time working on
So
the
cool.
design.
I love to play with the colors too. Like, I love the powers are not your standard like red or green. Like, I like the blue. I like it.
Yeah, he
Thank
yeah,
you,
he killed
Thank you for sharing, Theo, because
Yeah.
Oh,
Give me
that's
I don't know
so.
what's up with my sharing tonight.
It's all good. At least I figured out
anyways,
a way to
but
still
yeah.
share my
Man,
face.
I love the hood, man. I love the look. I love the.
No,
I love it
what
all.
Chad was saying about this other character that we're developing, Shadow Slayer. His like we went with a very Ninja Gaiden sort of samurai ninja kind of motif for him to go with Deathshroud. So it's like kind of like two like different parts of the world, like, you know what I mean, two different sort of anchors to where they would be from. And so one of the things
Two kind of different night entities, like a ninja and like
and that guy's
And-
actually based in Japan. Like that's his home base. in Japan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
shit.
And so he's got his weapon is like, it looks like this hilt, like a lightsaber, like that, like like a sword hilt, and he can switch it from between the blade's made out of like fire, like hellfire, and it can switch between like a giant like blade, like like a cloud type buster sword blade, to like then switch to like going double-sided like a bow staff, but then the kicker is that he can switch it to, so he can curve the bow staff and then start drawing arrows, so it turns into like a bow and arrow type bow, and he can like unlimited fire arrows, and he like all this to like slay demons and monsters and stuff. So he's a pretty badass character, and like imagine that in like a hyper frenetic like a Devil May Cry or Ninja Gaiden type style of storytelling,
Dude. Oh my God. I'm sold.
I mean, good, bro.
You had me sold with the archer, because I mean, I do archery, and I'm going to love seeing a character actually have something cool like that.
Yeah. And just like the idea of like, of course, magical, endless missile seeking fire arrows is just so awesome. And totally like doing flips, flashing, and then quickly, pivoting into shooting arrows is like such an awesome
dude, that is cool
to bring to life.
I'm gonna dude, Theo, we got to check it out, bro.
These panels,
my
God,
so
dude, these look so good.
Real quick, so Jerry, as you talk about that, you got to check it out, right? So Ken and Chad, I'm gonna let you guys pitch it real quick on where they can go to support the comic and find it.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So
great segue. Hey.
So from a high level roadmap perspective, we have 6 issues currently completed, and the first issue that we're launching, and all of these right now tentatively will be on Indiegogo. We might switch it up and do some Kickstarter, but we'll see. But the first issue is a giant size issue. It's a 52-page issue broken into 2 chapters. And then we'll be rolling them out consecutively between now and next January. So every couple months we'll be dropping the next issue. And it's live right now. So if you go to Indiegogo, just type in Deathshroud 01. You'll be able to find it as live. If you go to our socials, our Twitter is at Deathshroud, and Facebook is Deathshroud Comic, and Instagram is Deathshroud Comic. We're posting links like multiple times a day and different arts and things like that, so you'll be able to definitely navigate the link there. But yeah, the first campaign is currently live, and it's flagged under our Green Key Comics logo.
Yep, it's a Deathshroud giant sized 52 is Deathshroud giant sized issue number 1. I think is the official title for it. Correct?
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
so very cool.
Yeah, and go to Indiegogo, and please, we appreciate everyone who goes and checks it out. Thank you so much, everyone who's listening who has already pledged. Thank you so much. Like, we really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. And anyone who has not checked it out, please, we implore you to go check it out, because we have a ton of we have a huge story that we want to tell, and we have, like we said, we've got Shadow Slayer and a number of other characters that we have dreams to, you know, pull all this into one, like a new giant comic book universe. So yeah, so please, we definitely implore everyone to go check it out, because there's a lot of really cool stuff we have in store.
And if you can't, you know, if money's tight, that's totally cool. Retweets, social media posts is, you know, goes a huge way too, as we're, you know, building kind of awareness from the ground up here.
And for those folks that are listening or watch this come this weekend, we will have a profile built for Chad, just like we do for VCan. And that information, some of that information is already on there, as far as the Twitter information and their website, which is dreamkeycomics.com. So we'll have that on the website as well, with a link to the episode, like we always do for all of our guests. Sweet. Anyway, so I do want to kind of talk to you guys. So when you guys are looking at this, doing this as an Indiegogo versus, you know, like mainstream, like DC, Marvel, and all of them go, is a grander question. I think this goes to gaming as well, as it relates to comics. So the news broke. I mean, when I said this wasn't a good week and a half for gaming, we have mass layoffs at tons of game media companies, including, you know, the Washington Post is getting rid of their entire gaming section. You know, you've got, you know, some GameSpot and stuff like that. Then you've got the layoffs that have hit some of the gaming studios. Chad alluded to, you know, Halo. 343 Industries got hit by a very big 10,000 person layoff at Microsoft. That also hit Bethesda, which I think is funny, is you lay off 343 and Bethesda as you're trying to buy Activision. Just optics doesn't look good. But 343, it hit even a huge part of their campaign team. Now they said, rumors were that, you know, they were just going to be project managers, and some other studio was going to take it over. But the other news was, and for some of us that played the game, it doesn't come as a surprise, but Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix made a major announcement with Marvel's Avengers. And which the announcement was, after 2.5 years and introducing 12 of Earth's Mightiest Heroes following update 2.8 on March 31st, we will no longer add new content or features to Marvel Avengers. All official support for the game will end on September 30th. So they're giving 7 months notice, a little over 8 months notice at this point. Even as official support ceases on September 30th, both single and multiplayer gameplay will continue to be available, again, but with no support. They are, along with the end of development, will also be turning off the cosmetics marketplace. After the update on March 31st, credits will no longer be purchasable, and all remaining credit balances will be converted into in-game resources and aid ongoing adventures. They also said, as a show of appreciation, starting March 31st, all the game's marketplace, challenge cards, and shipment cosmetic content becomes available for free. Like everything. They're just giving away the house.
Oh my God.
So
what about the people who paid for those already?
Right. And they're just getting all that that they spent, that they've got credit balances stuff, it just gets transferred into units and fragments and upgrade modules. So when we look at this and all the layoffs in gaming and stuff like that, is how do you guys feel about the survivability of comics and mainstream media when we look at, DC axed and is rebooting all of the DCEU. Marvel is retooling their entire next two phases because of quality issues. And as Jason kind of rolls his head back, I'm supporting. Hey, hold on, I'm going to support my boy on this. But when you do have some people that are looking at it being kind of oversaturated with how much, Marvel has thrown at everybody between shows and movies and whatnot, how do you guys feel about, survivability when, games like Avengers, they come out, you talk about them for a week or two, and then you don't really talk about them anymore, like Midnight Suns that just came out a couple weeks ago. You haven't heard much on that.
So it's actually a really good question, and it was key to the thought process behind Dream Key. So, with starting Dream Key in the digital age, we knew we had to do something very different. And that print, although I love print, as you can see, I'm a huge original art collector, I think and print, I believe, will always be around, but I think for comics to move forward, we needed to bring something new for the digital age. So our real long-term mission for Dream Key is to become the #1 platform for digital native comics. And what that means is, by, revamping the storytelling medium from the ground up to be truly digitally native. And then if we can add gamification layers on top of that, not only do I believe that will create further retention and engagement in the comics, but also it will make it more competitive with leading forms of narrative-driven content, which is video games. And I think that if we can do that, like, there's such a big market of hyper casual games or these idler games, and if we can, not only capture a piece of the comic book market, but if we can also carve out a slice of these, hyper casual and idler games, that I think really widens our addressable market and reach, and adds an interesting element to what we're doing. So we have a really cool demo on our website you can check out. Again, it was a video, but I truly believe that by making comics more interactive, having loot boxes and redeemable points and leaderboards and interactive moments that will actually change the way that your story progression changes, kind of like a Telltale Games Walking Dead.
I was just going to ask you about that, if that was like the realm of what you were
something like that. Yeah, something like that. I think, it gives us something unique and a shot, because I think something different has to be done, and especially for future generations, because the millennials and Gen Z are growing up with iPads and mobile phones in their hands, and it has to be, we have to access them, and legacy print and going into the local comic book store is not it. So how do we do that? And I think that's by building out this technology and making them more cinematic, making them more engaging, and understanding that attention spans are finite. So adding these gamification layers to keep you engaged and keep you returning, and incentives to returning. So I think we have something really special there. And then from a content perspective, what we want to do is, if you look at kind of how we identify our white space in the landscape, is when you say the word comic books, I would say 99% of people think of superheroes. But if you actually look at the entire landscape, Marvel and DC focus on superheroes, and everyone else kind of focuses on the kitchen sink. And so with what I want to do with Dream Key, especially initially, is that we're going to come out and say, listen, we're going to go after the hardcore enthusiasts, fans, and create edgy anti-hero dark themed stories, and really make our mark in the space by saying, drawing a line in the sand and saying, when you think of Dream Key, you're going to think of like badass superheroes, and kind of the whole mantra of like, we're going to create the next generation of the world's most badass heroes. And I think like one of the beliefs that I have as a company and a philosophy as a company to help achieve this is, people like Beacon is an actual shareholder of my company. Ryan Stegman is a shareholder of my company, and I want to attract and retain like top talent, and by giving them true creative freedom to bring to life these awesome stories and offering them actual equity in the company, will make everyone feel really invested and be rowing in the same direction. And I think with that true creative freedom, it's going to bring to life, in my opinion, some of their best work and really capture people, and the goal is to hopefully make people feel like a kid again. But I think by doing that, I think you need the top talent, and they need to have ownership in the company so that everybody's on the same playing field and rowing in the same direction.
So
I
Chad,
apologize for being a millennial. just gonna say,
dude, honestly, it's no joke because my son's a kindergartner and he's got an iPad. They use it for all their learning and everything. Textbooks now are coming on iPads. You know what? I wish back in the day I had that option, because my textbooks were super heavy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Back in high school
and
in my year
expensive.
of college.
Do you guys remember having to go to the library?
Dude, you go to the library and they get to
write an essay. Oh
dude,
my
we had
God.
to know the Dewey Decimal System. We had to go look up a book and cite resources.
Do you remember when you had to
library.
locate a book through the card system?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Through all the cards.
Yeah.
Rolodex. Yeah.
I mean,
Rolodex.
I'm on the brain. I'm a
Rolodex.
millennial and still remember that.
I mean, thankfully we didn't have any ghosts coming at us, and sliming those cards.
But actually, guys, I have to say, I really love the direction that you're going to take the company. Everything that you're saying, I'm immediately kind of envisioning and kind of picturing, maybe a panel of like you're the foreground and the background, but having it maybe movable or almost 3D, like each panel you're going to, or a timed like movement. I love that. I love the fact that you're looking to have comic books be a little bit more interactive or just a little different, because you're right. They're stuck in this same form right now, which there's still a market, and I feel like collectors are still out there. So I mean, you're talking to one of them. I have three bins full of comic books. So like, there's still the market, but we still yearn for something different because we can't take all those comic books with us. So I buy whatever I could digitally and take that on my iPad, which you're right. I mean, everyone's using their phone or using their iPad, and that's an untouched market, I feel. Even with the digital like comic book apps out there, they're not being utilized as much as like people think.
Well, and there's a lot of pain points. Like, I mean, and again, this isn't me. I'm not trying to rip on any companies. I'm just saying, like, reading a PDF on your phone is obviously not the best experience. It's better when it's on a bigger iPad, so it's not so scrunched up. But a lot of the guided views, I think there's a general census that some of these leading apps who have these guided views, the community has been very frustrated with it. And now that Comixology is being merged in with Kindle, like it's a frustrating experience, and it needs to be really built up from the ground up to be digitally native, in my opinion.
That hurts my heart to hear.
I
didn't realize that Comixology was merging.
But like, even like how Chad said, like even this simple act of even just putting like the gamification or unlockables or loot crate or like unlockable like rewards or achievements into comics, like something as simple as that. Like, whereas like that is so exciting to me as a creator, because it's like an added level of interaction with the audience, and like you get like something on top of the reading experience. You also get something that you could interact, like say like an unlockable costume for a video game or something, like, so
I love that.
Like it's just a really cool, fresh idea, and I'm like super happy to be on board for it, so it's very cool.
Will you guys eventually do a like even a limited edition print run on it?
It depends on, so number one, we'll always still support print. because I'm a big fan of print. There's still a market for print, so would always support print. But for the comics that we would be building from the ground up in this kind of new way, and you can kind of see on the demo there, it would be very challenging to convert that to print. Someone like Ken, like I said, we'd always support print and have print in mind for some of our titles, and then some of our titles would be exclusive to being that digitally native experience.
Or like an anniversary thing. You never know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But to be clear though, Deathshroud, our current Indiegogo campaign, that is a print book. That is actually it's yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
the digital stuff that we're talking about is like that's still in the beta development stages.
Yeah.
That's like in the development stages. Like right
VC
now,
financing that we're trying to raise.
Yeah. See,
I certainly hope you have the concept patented. I hope you have that concept patented or something like that, because I feel like that's a great idea to really reward the reader and entice people to read, because I feel like a lot of the need or want to read isn't there anymore for especially these newer generations. And to give them a reward in an area that they'd enjoy, and like it can be expanded to more than just comics. I feel like that's just a great concept to have.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because like these, the idea that we have right now around like the loot boxes, as an example, is if you're a subscriber and you get like access to all of the library, and we'll support indie creators as well, and eventually some like third-party content, people like an Image or Dark Horse or whatever. But if you would be a subscriber, you get to the end of the comic, you get this loot crate, and it's like, oh, what did I get? Oh, I got a free comic out of it. Oh, I got Dream Key points. And what can I do with Dream Key points? I can redeem that in our shop for like swag or merchandise, or towards buying a discounted comic book. So I think like
I love that.
To your point. Yeah, I think to your point
of
like having
better than PlayStation's reward system right now.
Yeah, I think that encourages, like, I would be happy, like, I'm already reading the comic and at the end of it I get something, it's like, oh, I got a free back issue that I didn't have, or whatever. I think it's kind of cool.
Not gonna lie, that's one of my favorite things about Switch's online program is like you just get rewarded with points by just playing certain games and or checking in and whatnot, and then you can use them to create custom icons that you can spend 10 points on to get a new Link icon and create it your own self, or you can go online and get free swag. You just pay for shipping and have it sent to you, and I think that's a fantastic idea. And honestly, for those people that are into comics, I think that's huge, because
that's such a great idea.
You're already a fan of the comic, you're already reading it, and then you're getting rewarded for reading it, and then you can turn that into a back issue, or you can turn it into swag. And I think that is a fantastic idea. But I also love the fact that you bring up is that the Indiegogo is for the print issue for Deathshroud, because for me, yes, I do have my iPad, I do reading on my iPad and stuff, but there are sometimes I just want to disconnect from electronics and just have something paper in my hand.
Is that right,
like,
J-Bone?
Yeah.
Physical.
Oh, we're not even talking about this whole physical versus digital thing. I'm talking about real.
Yes, we are. We are literally just talking about it.
You are literally talking about physical versus digital.
That's right, baby.
I'm
the real thing. There's nothing like the real thing. Yeah.
Well, it depends on when we're talking about games, because but when it comes to like books, it's just that smell of the pages. It just
it's just literally because you don't have anything that's gonna sidetrack you. You don't have to skip ad. When you're
I just love the idea of
you're not gonna skip ad.
Of the loot crate, because with everything being digital and the comic book, I mean, like you guys were saying, skins. What that even entices me to read the comic book again, getting a different skin, right? Like you can change up the characters' like wardrobe or skins or different look, and just oh man.
Well, there's also really cool B2B opportunities. So like new ways of presenting advertising in comics, which there's an example in that demo, which is at the end of it. There's a Halo crate, and it toggles, and it says click me, and you click it, and then the boop, little animation like a Hearthstone thing. And boop, boop, you get an exclusive like gun skin. So it's like new ways that like incentivize people to get our comics, is like, hey, this issue that's coming out, also if you pick it up, you get an awesome Valorant gun skin that's exclusive to this comic. Like there's a lot of cool things that we can experiment and do. But that example for Halo, because I love Halo, although anyways, I love Halo. It's that example's in that demo that we have on the website.
All right, what's your favorite Halo?
Don't give away all the secrets.
Yeah, my favorite.
No, everybody's got a favorite Halo. Everybody's got one favorite Halo.
So I actually always go back to Halo CE, which is a classic. But that 3-shot pistol on Hang 'em High or Blood Gulch is just it started it for me. Is why
forget the pistol on Blood Gulch. That thing is, I hated getting killed by that. Dude, I mean, no, hold on. Map. Yeah, you're just running across the map. Nobody's around. All of a sudden, you get dropped.
Yeah, the kill time,
and it was amazing. Not, and it wasn't a sniper because it was like it was ding ding drop. Like
it was amazing. But yeah, Halo CE is probably closest gear to my heart. But obviously, then the next big one is like the Halo 2, Halo 3. I still think to this day, from a first-person shooter, and I mean Halo 2 specifically, as you guys know, like it revolutionized, like it created matchmaking. It created, this ranking system that
that's mine. I would have to say,
yeah, it was amazing, and it's. I think there's a general sentiment too amongst Halo fans of like. Why can't we have that back? I think a lot of fans would love to have the 1 to 50 back.
Because Chad, I can tell you why. It's because they took Halo Combat Evolved, put a shiny coat of paint on it, and gave you Halo Infinite.
At the same time, too, there's a lot of like, let's do. Oh, this is working, and let's just not do this again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
let's just this is the best thing ever. But we'll not do it again.
Yeah, I'm usually more of my opinion is always towards like the first game. It sets the precedence, but in regards to Halo 2, it just gave you so much, and as you said, it set the mark in gaming when it came to online and everything. So that's why for me 2 has to be.
And I would say a lot of people, I think a lot of people would agree with that totally.
And the other thing was, I'll never forget the first moment. Like I was playing the campaign, and the moment you got to dual wield
needlers.
I was just right.
The energy sword. Was all about.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm down.
Do you guys remember people super bouncing in the multiplayer, and they'd get into the map, and then because of the proxy chat, they would just talk shit.
They did also that gave us the birth of Red versus Blue.
Yeah, it was
like it gave us so many things. Yeah.
Yeah, and Halo 3 was like a really polished, kind of a Halo 2.5 to a degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, those first 3 games were really, really special, and I think the nostalgia from those first 3 games is really, in my opinion, what's keeping that franchise alive. In my opinion. But I think it's been a testing time, so it'll be challenging. I think
I would also say they had a little help with ODST and Reach. Those were some pretty good games to me as well.
The last good Halo was Reach.
Yeah,
the last time we had to get but then we go back to who is running the franchise for Reach.
Yeah, I think
it was Bungie.
Yeah, I think the problem with the change of guard with any studio panning an IP like that is, and you've seen it with Star Wars, is people having to come in and try to make their mark. And I think that there's literally, this is fact. You can look this up. There's interviews of literally, them recruiting people who didn't like the old Halos. They wanted to, I think, chase trends of competitors at the time, which was Call of Duty.
You mean the Halo TV show?
There's a lot of challenges with that franchise.
Just triggered me again.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges with that franchise. It's unfortunate to see, and I think the community.
I'm not gonna lie, I was so hopeful.
Yeah, the community united on that and made such an uproar that we're seeing big changes. So hopefully, going forward,
I was so hopeful for that show. I
hope for the sake of Halo fans, and we all know. I mean, predominantly I'm PlayStation and Nintendo, but I really hope for the sake of Xbox fans, they get Halo back on track, because Halo is one of their major IPs that is used to sell systems.
Yeah.
And if
it was it, that was the one that sold the system when it first came out. That
exactly.
was it.
I mean,
like, when you first heard about Halo, you wanted a system, you wanted that game.
Literally.
And it's one of those things now. Halo is a shell of its former self.
Totally.
And I think maybe Bonnie Ross, when she left, yes, it was for medical reasons, but I think when she left, I think she knew kind of the writing was on the wall that some of the stuff was probably coming down the pike, because Halo Infinite didn't deliver the way that Microsoft expected it to deliver.
Totally. I actually, I'd be really interested to see the economics of that, because keep in mind, they cut the campaign co-op, right, for couch co-op for a long time, or it's still not, it still
hasn't done yet. It's still
so disaster. And then they launched the multiplayer free. So I think a lot of people, like a lot of my friends, never ended up buying the the price tag. They just downloaded the multiplayer for free. And out of the gate, I actually really liked Halo, and then all of a sudden, they market it like a live service game, and all of a sudden you're like, where's these updates? Like, you can't market your game as a live service game when you have titles like Fortnite and all these other massive titles that are pumping out content like monthly, bi-weekly. And the content was, in my opinion, kind of unacceptable. And even from the store, it's like, I'm a prime candidate. It's like, I want to spend money on this game. Like why you own Bethesda? Why can't I have a Doom guy skin? Why can't I have all of these different characters? Like, there's a lot of very frustrating.
Doom guy has a Halo skin.
I think like anything like that.
That'd be cool.
Like look at Fortnite. You have Spider-Man, all these different characters.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you have these type of?
Why can't you have the
I know
the Fallout armor?
red tape. Yeah,
like the power armor.
Exactly. I understand there's legal red tape, but at the same time, like, make it happen, because other studios are, and other studios are easily to navigate.
And they're figuring it out.
Yeah, like Rocket League, like, has all these different partnerships with. It's just, it's
they
frustrating.
have Fast and the Furious skins.
Dude, no, they have Back to the Future.
They're Back to the Future.
They have the DeLorean.
Do make a difference.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Skins make a difference, and it's just so simple, so easy that you can just.
Dude, I played Killzone, Shadowfall, and I would spend money on the other skins just to make my shit look better.
Yeah.
So with that, what are you? So for Chad and Vken, start with you guys. So what are you guys playing right now? In between getting the issues and stuff done, and
in between work, when you have time.
Work,
and having tremendous business sense and.
I mean,
you want to go? Oh yeah, can you?
Yeah, I'll go first. With my incredibly limited time, I've been slowly working my way through Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, and I was telling these guys before the stream, I think I'm toward the end because I'm on chapter 8.
Nice.
We're right at the Nibelheim section there, so I think it's the end. And then I also just re-downloaded Castlevania Symphony of the Night on my PS5, which is a PS1 game. So I'm going back and I hadn't played that game since I was a kid, and I saw it on there for like really cheap. I was like, oh man, I'll check this out. So yeah, and then also whenever we have people over for parties, like Smash Brothers, like is like my go-to.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
The games that I've been playing, so Elden Ring I recently beat.
Nice,
bro.
Congrats.
That was for me, that was the hardest game I've ever played in my life.
I feel you.
Like that
from software.
Yeah, like that achievement to kill the 2 gargoyles, like just wanting to break my controller, but I beat the game. That was like an achievement. I was like super excited about that. And then although we were just talking about Halo, I actually still play Halo. I've invested too much time into Halo that I can't just walk away. It's like an abusive relationship that I have with it.
Jerry's Red Dead.
Gotcha.
I'm an Onyx level player.
That's Red Dead for Jerry.
So I play it. And then I still play Destiny as well. So I'm waiting for the new expansion that's coming out.
Lightfall.
So I'll be playing that. Those are like Destiny. What's crazy as much as like I love Halo and I love Halo, but since I guess the not the current Xbox, but since Destiny came out, I've actually played more Destiny than I've I've played of Halo.
Very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I love the
Chad,
raid. It's awesome.
with you being a fan of Halo and Destiny, this is my opinion, is I think that if Microsoft had given Bungie what they wanted, Destiny is what the new evolution of Halo would have been.
It seemed like that, because like Halo Reach, and I mean even in ODST, they had they removed it now, but if you can, this can be fact checked. They had the Bungie logo as an Easter egg inside the friggin' ODST. So you know, like the logo, like that, they're the Bungie, like sorry, not
Oh, I think I remember. I saw a YouTube video about that. Yeah.
So they had the Destiny logo. Sorry, somewhere on like some LED screen in the
Alicorn.
And then like how they were building it, like really robust maps, kind of felt like they were experimenting a bit for the future development of Destiny, really.
And you've got the enemies, right, in Destiny they are pretty much, there's a corresponding version of them in in Destiny, or in Halo rather.
And Destiny, like I said before, I think, like, again, I love Destiny, but they've taken inspiration from all.
There it is, right there.
Oh, sweet,
sharing it on screen. So it is fact checked right on the podcast.
There you go.
It's Destiny's amazing, but definitely they've taken inspiration from like Activision Blizzard's Diablo, like Star Wars, like the things that your speeder bikes is like literally out of Star Wars. A lot of which I'm not complaining against. Like I said, I love it's a combination of all of my favorite things. So it's definitely a cool world.
So V, I gotta make a public apology to you. I can't get into Crisis Core.
Really? I mean,
I
never played the original. Like, so for me, it was like, I've always like, I know the story, because like I read the story with like Zach and everything, and I just like want to dive into it. And like, it's definitely not as good as Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I think it's still fun. Like it feels like a light version of that, but still
the carryover. It's the carryover.
It's the combat. The combat system is just not clicking with me.
I like the combat. I actually like the combat.
See, that's the thing is, it's like,
it's different.
I know people who love Crisis Core, but for me, I'm like, I just can't get into the combat system. It's kind of,
it's simple. It's much simpler. It's way more hack and slash, which is like, I guess it's less thinking involved, but
it's the way that RPGs are going these days.
Yeah. Well, no, it's
more action RPG.
You guys know this is the carryover. You know, like it was intermission.
Same
now we have Crisis
version,
Core,
exactly.
And then we're gonna get Rebirth, and it's just like, okay, like
it's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be good. And you know what? There's enough time in between games that you can enjoy. You can
and then you get hyped. Enough time to get hyped.
You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about another Final Fantasy thing coming out like two seconds later. You got enough time.
We'll get hyped and delayed, and then hyped again and delayed.
I mean, I know there was a lot of controversy because they redid all the voice acting. And I know that like online I saw people complaining about it, but like, you know what? I think it's like pretty good. Like, I think the guy playing Zach he's pretty, like, I think he's pretty good. Like, I don't have any issue with like when you actually play the game, like he doesn't sound like, again, I never played the first one, so I don't know like what the first one was, other than like little clips on YouTube that I've seen. But like, I don't know, man. I think it's like really cool, like to have it like fleshed out like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And to be able to say like, okay, like it's going to be the same voice actor, like going through now.
All the way through.
Like, now you're like, okay, like there is some like consistency, obviously like the game was made like what, 15 years ago. And you're just like, okay, maybe the voice actor's voice changed, or like, things happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, everybody complained that they weren't using the Advent Children cast for Remake. I mean, you're always gonna have,
I didn't get that either.
You're gonna have controversy in gaming for whatever reason, i.e., the whole Forsaken crap that started over the last week, where everyone's just been ripping on it. But
it looks so good though. Like the trailers, like the gameplay looks good. Yeah, I mean,
Forspoken looks good.
Yeah.
I really want to try that out.
No, play the demo, dude. You will.
Well, no, everybody's saying that the demo.
Really?
Everybody said the demo did not pay it justice, and that the game is way better than the demo let on to me.
Really?
But that said,
that's a sleeper on me.
It's an investment.
Right now.
I'm going to sleep on that one.
It's an investment. All right, so
are you
we
guys
gotta
gonna
ask
get
Chad.
Dead Space? Oh, sorry.
Oh yes.
Oh no, Jerry's
Yes.
gonna get it.
But before you ask Chad, I have a question for Chad. Since we never have anybody else that plays Destiny, and these guys will never play Destiny with me.
Oh God, hold on.
Hold on. I will consider. I'll consider that.
No, you won't.
I did play Destiny, and then I gave it a break, and I couldn't get back into it.
And then you tried the revamp, and you couldn't get into it.
Bro, I will consider playing. I'm down.
They made
you let
changes.
me know. Let me know.
Anyways,
I liked Destiny.
Chad, what's your class?
The main is Hunter because of my Halo
Bro.
background.
Yeah, Hunter, baby.
Yeah. Yes.
But
the
Cade 6 version. Cade 6, baby.
The reason why is because there's this chest plate with a couple of perks. I think it's called Omni Oculus or something like that.
Omni Oculus.
Yeah, you can go invisible like 24/7. So when you're doing PvE content, you actually kind of become like almost like a healer because like people are dying and like in raids or whatever, like I can easily revive. So
until you start dying.
Yeah, and then because of just how like the movement is of the hunter, for PvP, I just gravitated towards the hunter.
Bro, Hunter has the best jump out of all three.
By far.
Yes.
The double
like
jump.
Warlock jump sucks. I don't care who ever mains
I hate
Warlock.
the floaty. I hate the floaty.
Screw the Warlock ever. Because you can never do a delayed jump and make it. You will always die. If
That's
you
actually kind of the reason why I made my decision with Hunter, because I'm so used to double jumping. Mm-hmm. Oh no. Hunter, baby. Hunter, double jump. I'm down. Double jump.
Yeah. All right. So Chad, we gotta ask you one question, which is something we've asked of all guests. Ken's already been put on the spot. You know, granted, that was 2 years ago, but
he did actually answer it already this episode as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he already remembered everybody, you know. But when you are able to have game nights with family and friends, okay, or you go over to family and friends for game nights, what is your favorite game to play for game night, regardless if it's a board game, card game, video game like Smash Brothers?
Easy.
What's your favorite?
Settlers of Catan.
You got another player. Matt's a big player too.
Yeah, it is a
just got really aggressive negotiations.
Jerry won't play with me anymore.
That I feel Catan is more of a friendship breaker than Monopoly.
We don't want to play with you because you threw Thief 4 times in a row.
You're just ruthless. You're just mean. Like
I thought we needed to take you to the casino just so you could play crap since you're rolling 7 so much.
Yeah, bro.
Jeez.
Do you guys have like the expansions too, where it has like the volcano? So
I don't have those. I just have the expansion where it expanded out. No, there was an a 5 to 6 player expansion that they did.
The first one that came out.
But I don't have Seafarers or anything like that. But yeah, dude. Jerry won't play.
It's still a fun game. I still enjoy it, but
but wasn't that the first time you played Catan with Matt too at the same time? That was your first.
That was the first time too.
It's just honestly,
you can only blame Matt for ruining it for you.
I'll still
Theo.
But he's ruthless though.
In my opinion, honestly, that's more of a honest friendship breaker than Monopoly is. Monopoly is like classic, but Catan now, oh man, when you get to the trade, you're like, bro, like seriously, bro.
Man, you have like finger foods, like pizza or whatever, some beers, playing Catan, and then getting angry because like, I don't have enough brick. Like,
exactly. So with that, it's everyone that tuned in tonight live here on Twitch and that are going to listen to the broadcast this weekend when we release it on Sunday. Thank you for crashing game night with us and welcoming Chad to the CGN family. And of course, Vken's always welcome back. Maybe next time he'll be more like Zach than Cloud. But in this time, guys, we always talk about these things, especially the events that happen in California over the last couple of days.
Bro,
we just have to show that caring for everybody.
It's getting close.
It is. So with that, we will have Chad's profile posted on crashinggamenight.com under contributors and guests. So the links to the Dream Key Comics will be on there, as well as the Twitter account for Deathshroud. So give it a check out if you want to go check the Indiegogo out. There's your links for that. But please, guys, just in this days and times, just please be excellent to each other.
That's right, everybody. All my nerds, VK, Chad. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for all of this great info about the background of your comic. I'm very interested, and I can't wait to see what's to come.
Thank you.
Once again, everybody, let's just try and spread a little bit more compassion, a little bit more patience. Let's be a little bit more kinder to each other, and try and lend a helping hand here and there. Let's just try and be better, and just try and be safe. And thank you for joining.
Of course, always thank you again, VK, Chad. Thank you guys for joining us on the couch tonight. You know, a lot of good things. Hopefully we'll see a lot more with Deathshroud. You know, I just want to say one, honestly, it is really close to home of what Matt was talking about earlier.
Monterey Park.
Monterey Park is literally like 20 minutes away from me. So it's just, honestly, it's close. And we do know, not me, but we do have a few coworkers that do know of people there. So, you know, it is close. Please just, we've been inside for so long that I know people are getting a little crazy, but
yep,
just a little bit of love, just a little bit of love. It was supposed to be a joyous day. It still was, but I mean, those little dampers just are all people can think about sometimes. So please just be safe out there, be kind out there, you know, have some empathy, have some compassion, you know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot.
It is.
Please, as always, be safe out there. And as always, every night that we have this, my man Theo,
got hype me up
like you do.
Little one saying hi on the camera. She can.
Oh.
But yes, as always, Chad, thank you for joining us for the first time. Hope to have you back again sometime.
Yeah, fun, guys.
Dude.
Welcome back anytime.
Always.
Yeah, you guys were
Bro,
amazing.
if you ever have an opening on your fire team, I'm down.
You too, VK. You're welcome anytime.
I'm legit looking for people because,
bro,
yeah.
I'm pure solo for so
Dude,
long. I'm always doing LFG.
Bro, I'll play.
So bad.
Horrible.
I'm down to play.
Come on, Jerry, let's do this.
Okay, I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's
All right,
cross-platform now.
Exactly.
Sick.
All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
Good night, everybody.
Go read Deathshroud.